then in fact we are doing it. Hi YouTube, it is me, I'm Andy. I am back for another episode of designing the Take 5 cube, and I think I said I would do this video without Jane to, like, you know, spare you the annoyance of this, but what can I say, Jane? I'm nothing without you.
Spare them the annoyance of Jane.
No, spare you the annoyance of having to sit here while we, like, make the changes.
The people are
tired. But yeah, I'm nothing without Jane. Jane is the designer of the ball pit, the cube that is the direct inspiration for this cube. We've got many episodes. How did 3 ominous season up on my maybe board? This was like a situation where there were like stash changes. Anyway,
just that ominous.
So ominous. Jane's the designer of the ball pit, which is the direct inspiration for this cube, and also a brilliant cube designer that I just would love your opinion on. And we recorded a 90-minute video talking about potential additions for Isochron Scepter. This is going to be the actual changes. We're doing it. We're putting Isochron Scepter in the cube, and we're going to decide what cards are coming in, what cards are coming out. And if we talk about other stuff, we'll probably break it up into another video. So this will be the Isochron Scepter edits video. I know where I want to start, which is with my favorite recommendation of yours, Vengeful Dreams.
Vengeful Dreams
going in. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, I still feel like I'm scraping for removal here, and so any removal that feels really correct in terms of vibes and has overlap with other things that the cube is doing is very likely going to appeal to me. I've also added a few more things to the maybe board since we last talked, both from recommendations from people in the Discord and elsewhere, and also just from my own ideas. First of all, we do have to follow up. Epiphany of the Dreadnought unfortunately does not work the way that we thought it does, because your opponent can always makes 2 piles, and one of the piles can be empty. Which, if we thought harder about it, I think we both knew that you could have put all of the cards into 1 pile. We just didn't think about that when the card is only 1. So that one I think does not work, unfortunately. But let's go to the ones that are.
I stand by that. If your opponent is not a sweaty nerd, that they will play it through the way that is fun and turns it into just an ass cantrip.
It's a good test for whether you are playing with cool people or with sweat lords, because all right.
You can also rip the card in half. I think that's a thing you would allow people to do with your very nice, expensive cards.
Is there an expensive copy of Epiphany of the Drowned? I don't know.
Oh, no, I meant, like, you know, their pile is, their card is 1 Phyrexian Dreadnought.
I see.
Do they separate it into 2 piles or not?
Which half would you like? Probably the half with the power and toughness, I imagine, if it's Phyrexian Dreadnought. All right. I think we should, let's alternate until we get a couple of cards that we know we want to make adds to. Yeah. I am going to insist also that Sundering Growth comes in. I've been thinking about this more. Right now it is not well supported, but it doesn't need to be that well supported. It's just a disenchant. Disenchant's going to be good here. But I have a lot of ideas for how we can make that populate even better. So I feel pretty strongly about that one. I also like the hybrid mana. I like the art. I think it's all very good. What would your sort of next pitch be for the most important card from this list to put in there?
What is it called? My next ad would be Reality Shift.
Reality Shift. Now, someone else pointed out that Reality Shift is an option.
Remake?
There's also Unwanted Remake, yeah.
Yeah.
Which normally I just don't like taking, like, the more powerful one or whatever. Unwanted Remake is obviously, I think, significantly better than Reality Shift, though it doesn't hit any, same thing. It doesn't exile, which actually I think not exiling is kind of a benefit here. I'd rather not exile stuff because I want people's graveyard synergies to work. What I like about Unwanted Remake is that specifically under Scepter, it feels way more reasonable to just continue to destroy your own manifested creature to dig for the cards you want to manifest. Like if you have, you know, Eater of Days or Dreadnought in your deck and you're looking to find them, then you can find it. Now, the question becomes, how annoying is it? What were you gonna say?
I think if Unwanted Remake were added to the cube, I think it would be a very, very strong card, which isn't a bad thing, but mostly just because first of all, 1 mana instant, get rid of the game-ending threat is extremely powerful.
That is true.
The investment there is not very high. However, this is a cube without a ton of creatures, you know.
As of right now,
Vanilla 2/2 is not a bad card. Like, that trades or wins with, I haven't done the math here, but probably over half of the creatures currently in the list. And I think the fact that this often would just be a 1 mana your opponent is trying to do something to one of your creatures, and you just turn your creature into basically a better creature, is a thing that this will often do. And under Isochron Scepter, that feels like really, really punishing. That it's such a Swiss Army card. This might just be the fact that I dislike Manifest Dread leaking a little bit. I do think that for the first run of a list like this, that is the sort of power outlier I'm completely okay with trying, as long as it has that little asterisk next to it, because it's very mechanically rich, despite the fact that Manifest Dread kind of, is not my favorite clean design.
I'm really
I
glad
think Manifest Dread does everything you want for this cube. It puts things in the graveyard.
It does, I think.
It lets you get fun things out. So despite the fact that I just like Reality Shift better, I totally get it. Unwanted Remake is a good take 5 card.
I think we're gonna try that. I mentioned in my previous video, I can't escape Reality Shift just having rancid vibes for me because of its. I think it was actually I was thinking about it more. I think the thing was, time was originally in Commander. If your commander got exiled, it was just exiled. You could not put it back in the command zone. It had to be like if it dies, you could put it back in the command zone. And so I think that is what I have that impression from, because it was such a staple because it exiled other people's commanders.
Yeah.
I think I want to try a remake, and we always have the option to downshift it a little bit in terms of power level to Reality Shift if it ends up being a problem. I'm really curious. I have a hard time imagining that unwanted remaking your own thing is going to be like a really strong line very often, except for under Scepter, if you're just unwanted remaking your own manifest token just so you can keep digging to find the one you want manifested. But maybe I'm wrong. I also kind of like this on Isochron Scepter. If you have some kind of token generation, like some dinky little tokens you can make for cheap, then you can just start upgrading them into that's very cool. That obviously applies to Reality Shift too, although it is twice as hard to find what you're looking for with Reality Shift. You just kind of got to luck into it.
It also, I don't like running too many copies of mechanically better cards. There are a few situations in which I will do that, like in Tabletop Cube, I run Lightning Bolt and I run Shock, and I'm thinking of even adding Tarfire potentially.
But I love Tarfire.
That is for, I have a nice little foil copy I just picked up. That is for reasons of cleanliness and exploring the, that cube is very much about thinking about Magic at its base level. But for a cube like this, I'm very curious to see where the mana load of a deck ends up settling. And I could very much see, once this cube has settled, you saying, white's doing a bunch of fun things, and blue's doing a bunch of fun things, and those are pretty different things, and I am okay with blue having an exile effect that's pretty rare for blue, that's mechanically much worse in some ways than Unwanted Remake.
I was going to say, you reminded me that I am light on white cards for this cube, period. I just don't have that many white cards. I also think that white mana up much more indicates creature removal than blue mana up. And so for those reasons, I think the color identity of Unwanted Remake is a little bit desirable as well.
Yeah. Try it out.
Okay. I am going to also insist we put Fling in the cube.
Yeah, I thought Fling was already in the cube.
Right now we have Kazel's Fury in the cube, and there will be a question when we get to cuts if we keep Kazel's Fury alongside Fling. I think you should probably. Yeah, I think they're different. They are different enough, and I think the Fling deck is going to be good. And obviously, you can't put Kazel's Fury under Scepter. And I love the idea of just building a cannon to shoot your opponent with Fling. I also, here's what I wanted to ask you about.
Someone needs to Dreadnought Fling Felden Fling.
Yeah.
Just with it under Isochron. Yeah, unreasonable, but I'm here to Magical Christmas Land. This ain't my cube.
Well, so get this. A card that I do definitely want to add, it'll probably be a different update than this, is Doomsday. And I love the idea of a Doomsday pile that is just like Dreadnought, Fling, Felden. Like, that's such a cool pile that will win almost every game. Your opponent might have some interaction. It's not quite as reliable as Labman or whatever, but I'm really into that. It's very exciting to me.
That's great, because then they can manifest, then they can use Unwanted Remake on you, and then you're dead.
Well, yeah. I mean, that sounds cool. Honestly, I'm into it.
It does. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Next question.
Doomsday is fun. Yeah.
Next question I have for you, unless you have something else you wanted to add right now, is again, it's more forward sizzle for the podcast. So I think this one will come out till after the next podcast episode comes out. Oh, this is actually 2 weeks in the future podcast episode we just recorded. We talk about Transmute in a future podcast episode, and you mentioned the mage that can go get 2-drops because of how important Sundial and Isochron Scepter are. What do you think about a card like Muddle the Mixture or even Shred Memory that are both things that can go under Isochron Scepter as well as things that can go be transmuted for Isochron Scepter?
Is Shred Memory, that's the, okay.
I'm showing you on my screen if you can look at it.
Graveyard Order, lovely, yeah.
Is it, it doesn't care about Graveyard Order.
Remove, up to, I read the top 4.
I mean, right now, Graveyard Order does matter in this cube for Volrath Shapeshifter, and I kind of can't see. Well, maybe I'll cut that in Phyrexian Furnace someday. But right now, Graveyard Order does matter in this cube for better or worse.
Yeah.
But this card doesn't care about it.
I think I like Transmute here. When I pause like that for a card like this, it's usually because I am walking back my there's usually a filter I have which is for people who play the cubes that I own, and Transmute does not work well for those sorts of people because it's a level of, it's just one more variety of mental step that they don't necessarily have the brain space to do while also looking at a bunch of other cards they haven't seen.
Oh, we're going to have mental steps in this cube.
That's kind of the fun thing about this cube.
This cube is the mental stairmaster. We're going to have so many mental steps in this thing.
Mental misstep, as long as you're okay with both the double pips and also it being a counterspell.
You mean Muddle the Mixture. Mental Misstep is the Phyrexian mana one.
Yeah, Muddle the Mixture.
Yeah.
Muddle the Mixture, as long as those are both things that you are okay with, I think are fine to go in. I like that neither of them is very good on its own.
Sounds like Transmute cards, yeah.
Exactly. So...
But you prefer Muddle over Shred Memory? Because it was Shred Memory that jumped out to me, because I do think graveyards are going to matter a lot here.
Graveyard is going to matter a lot.
Yeah. Then I think this card is, on its face, somebody new to the cube will think, maybe graveyard doesn't matter, maybe it's a sideboard effect. And so they might rate that really low, and that will actually make them maybe consider the Transmute mode a little more than they would on Muddle, where I think Muddle's probably just going to be played as like a bad counterspell. A blue deck with lots of blue pips will play it, and then, maybe they get to Transmute sometimes. I'm drawn to this one because it's a way to get people to, I mean, obviously I'm forcing people to main deck almost every card they draft, but you're going to end up with Grave Fate in your deck that maybe you expected to Transmute most of the time, that instead you're going to actually be, casting every once in a while.
Yeah. I prefer, honestly, I think I would like it better if it removed less cards and had like a little bit of other upside.
I feel the same. 4's a lot.
I really like in this cube that people are going to be excited about a lot of things that they put in their graveyard.
Yeah.
So even if they're putting some dumb thing in their graveyard that never gets used, I love that when you, for example, what's it called? When you headstone somebody's best thing to get with Feldon, that they probably have some other worse thing that they can get with Feldon. So it might be a bit punishing. I think Shred Memory I prefer in this cube over Muddle the Mixture. It also just the art is so good.
The art is pretty freaky, yeah. It's looks like Vin Diesel having a bad day and getting his head peeled like a orange skin.
Last video I had said I had a few recommendations
that were unrelated to Isochron Scepter.
Kind of.
Yeah, hit me. I'm always down for recommendations.
Okay, so there are 3 cards that you've probably already considered. I haven't trawled the comments in the
Discord.
In the Discord, yeah. But looking at this list, I think this is a Tinker cube
Mm-hmm.
because uh, so far all of the powerful but kind of swagless, big, colorless artifact creatures haven't made it into the main board, or they made it in and they got cut. You know, um, if like this is the sort of cube that you could put Triplicate Titan into this cube. I saw people talking about because most people aren't going to cast it, et cetera, et cetera. But you'd have to change a lot of things about the cube that I think mean that it's not going to go in. And
You are correct.
for all of the reasons that that is not happening, I love the idea of Tinker in this cube because, getting rid of your like Codex Shredder to get your Sundial of the Infinite.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of investment, mana wise and card wise, for exactly what I think this cube wants to do. Even putting the artifact in your graveyard. Oh well, there's probably something that you can do with that eventually too. So
I like this recommendation, and I like it because, much like Isochron Scepter, I want to dial in the Tinker target so that it is like very medium. And I think, again, that part of the pre-cube speech will be any card you see that you wonder if it has like its broken, A-B combo piece in here, it does not. Like, you cannot do the iconic broken thing. You must find some other more creative thing to do with it. I have one question about Tinker, which is that I know for sure I want to try God Pharaoh's Gift. Is that too good with Tinker? I kind of think no. If you're cheating out early, you also need a way to fill your graveyard with creatures, and then it's like a 4/4 every turn.
So I had two other recommendations for you, which I'll say before I answer that question, which are Fabricate and Repurposing Bay.
Repurposing Bay is just Oswald, but non-creature, right?
Yeah. And in blue.
It does have really sick art, honestly.
Yeah. A lot of people skip it because, Aether Drift, thumbs down, whatever. But I love Repurposing Bay. And first of all, without saying that you actually should do this is a cube that could just run all three of these. They all do different things despite being 3 mana things that are in blue that grab stuff. They're all better than the other cards in some way. They're all just really fun cards that have, well, some people don't like Tinker's art. I love Tinker's art. But anyway, that's a digression. These are the cards that are why I was kind of going, muddle the mixture, because I was like, there are 3 blue cards where you can pay 3 mana to do something that is basically what this Transmute will often end up being.
Well, I do think the Transmute will often be used for non-artifacts, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Like, I think Survival of the Fittest is a crazy build around here. I think Life from Alone is a crazy build around here. I think there's, like, plenty of... I mean, you can just reset this real quick.
Oh, God, yeah. Right now, Oath of Druids is in here, too. Yeah, there's a lot of...
Yeah, so, like, Oswald, Strict Proctor is a combo piece. None of the blue stuff is, like, super thrilling. I mean, if you already have a Sundial, you're going to get a... Ideas Unbound is pretty sick, so you have, like, Nameless Inversion if you already have Hacken online.
Okay, so here's
Hermit
the thing.
Druid.
Now that you've reminded me of that, I even more want Shred Memory to be in the list, and I more think it would be a very powerful card. A card that destroys 1 or 2 of the drafters at the table that usually can get whatever the combo piece is in your deck is really, really good. When this cube started, I think it started more as a let's do fun things with cards that are not crazy powerful on their own. Not in a bad way. I think it is leaning more in the powerful direction.
I know.
So my point with that is...
You feel more okay getting people owned by Shred Memory?
I feel more okay with people getting owned by Shred Memory as long as Shred Memory coming in does not mean that, a card like a Fedo Exterminator comes out.
Oh, well, yeah, we're not bringing... The Fedo Exterminator is not going anywhere. We'll talk cuts after this. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's my point, is that I want it to go in as long as it doesn't cut at something that is in the vein of, oh, this is a fun thing that I'm trying to make people play with.
We're gonna try and keep Power Matrix in our mind's eye at all times. We must keep Power Matrix viable.
Exactly.
I will say that, like,
Muddle
Shred
the
Memory.
Mixture, I'm on because of those other cards I mentioned.
I will say that Shred Memory, like, it's good grave hate, but it's a bad card. Like, it doesn't recoup the card advantage. Like, even like best case scenario, they go to like spend a whole reanimation spell on something, and you exile the things from their graveyard, and then it's just a counterspell basically. I mean, it also kind of counters future reanimation stuff because you've gotten rid of this stuff forever. But like, the ceiling is not even that crazy. Like, honestly, the ceiling here is probably like you exile their Squee and Master of Death and Double Chase Daredevil when they're doing something incredibly degenerate, or you exile their Life from the Loam or something. But even then, it's like a whole card for a card is like not a crazy thing to do, I don't think.
Yeah, I think it's a little better than that on rate, because often in this cube, I think people are going to be intentionally taking a value hit by discarding cards so that they can do something with those cards. So there's usually a little bit more baked in investment, I think, before then. But I mean, we're getting into the weeds here, and that's mostly because I'm waffling on it. I think Shred Memory I'm very comfortable adding, and Muddle the Mixture I'm less interested in right now.
I have never really loved this card emotionally. I don't love the art, and I think it's like the combination of being narrow, but also like, I don't know. I guess it is very similar to Shred Memory in that it's narrow. It can be really good in some circumstances. Most of the time it's not good. Something about the vibes just aren't right to me. This is not an Isochron Scepter card, but do you love Perplex as much as I do?
Is that the... I'll just let you Google it. Yes. Well, okay, I don't know about as much as you do.
I really like it. I think it's so cool.
I know for certain you've played with this card more than I have, so you probably have more of a baked in love with it. I do adore the card just because basically that era of art card frame design space is just one of my favorites. It's a gorgeous card, and anything that's like, oh, I'm gonna stop you from what you're doing unless you completely bone yourself.
Yeah.
And oftentimes your opponent's like, yeah, I'm okay with that. I'll completely bone myself because I need to do whatever this is.
I mean, it is like, it's worse than a cancel. Like, cancel would be better because you wouldn't be giving your opponent choices, but the choice seems so brutal in so many circumstances that I think it's just pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That might come in a future edit, but I don't want to like lump that in with the Isochron stuff because I don't think it has anything to do with Isochron Scepter.
I really like that. The thing I actually like the most about that one is that the transmute cost is so much harder to pay. One of the things I like a lot about a cube like Take 5 is that I don't want there to be too many straight up tutor effects, and when they exist, I want them to be pretty narrow or pretty painful. Tinker, you have to already have a thing out. Fabricate, it's just, you're losing so much mana that if your opponent is doing anything quickly that you're boned. And then Repurposing Bay, it's freaking weird. It's Birthing Pod, but kind of worse at a lot of times. So, all of those require investment in ways that I'm comfortable with. And yeah, Transmute is...
I like Transmute as mechanic, honestly. Like, I understand why we have so few cards and it's never been returned to because it's really problematic and constructed and like standard to have a bunch of tutors be like viable. But I really like the very limited tutors that like inspire you in the draft to like try and fill out cards to like make that toolbox good. I mean,
you can only transmute as a sorcery, right?
Yes, you can only transmute as a sorcery, which does make it significantly worse.
I do think it would be... okay. I'm trying to decide if I think it would be cooler if every transmute card that you added was 2 mana, or if every transmute card you added had a different mana cost.
I think having different ones is probably what I would do. Like, I haven't looked at like
3 mana. Yeah, 3 mana lets you get Feldon, so that's pretty fun.
We love a Feldon.
Do love a Feldon.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. I'm bringing in all of the MDFCs that you recommended because I think they are really important. They are not showing up on this filter for some reason. I guess their type is not instant.
They're showing up. Oh, they do count as instants.
Well, it depends on how I categorize. It looks like Revitalizing Repast is here. I guess some of them are here. Why am I blind?
Yeah.
All right,
So,
Baying Veil to main board. Revitalizing
um,
Repast to main board.
can I request that you not add Vastwood fortifications if you're adding Revitalizing Repast? You can if you want to. That's just the definition of a mechanically worse card in every single way.
Okay, you can talk me out of it for now.
Yeah.
Where were the other ones? There was 4, so I'm missing 1 still. What was it?
So you've added Revitalizing
I put in
Repast,
Bane Veil and Revitalizing Repast.
Um. You already had the double strike one in the list, Legion Leadership. That could have been
Spikefield Hazard.
it.
Spikefield Hazard.
Oh, yeah. Spikefield Hazard.
That
100%.
That one's very good. We love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to our. Okay. I feel like we're just talking about those, and I'm just gonna cut lands for those, so I'm not worried about like those taking up too much space in the cube. And I think there's like the vibes of the MDFCs are not always great, but I think mechanically they're perfect for this environment, and I just have to accept that.
Yeah.
Now, here's a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to add either Turn the Earth or Memory's Journey. Very similar cards. Differences are that the flashback is off color in Memory's Journey, and that Turn the Earth can target cards in different players' graveyards, and also has this sort of trivial life gain tacked onto it. So,
Yeah.
Turn the Earth, I could shuffle my good card back in while also shuffling away your thing you just targeted with the reanimation effect. Memory's Journey can only do one or the other. How do you feel about these two options?
Let me look at Turn the Earth. I don't know it as well. Yeah.
My whole thing is, I just think Turn the Earth is swagless, and Memory's Journey is so cool.
Turn the Earth. I don't like the art. Well, yeah, I'm comfortable saying that. Turn the Earth. I think the artist critique thing. There's some really good stuff going on in there. I like what they're going for, and I don't actually like I don't like their end product. And also, gain life. Boo. Gaining 4 life for only 3 mana.
It is.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me. Memory's Journey is going to be worse for a lot of decks, but I think I like it more.
It does do double duty as, inevitability, keep you from decking for at least, 2 casts, as well as interfering with your opponent's graveyard if they're like, trying to do something sneaky. But I think it interferes with your opponent's graveyard in a way that is like, it is grave hate. It absolutely is. But I think it feels way less bad to people to be like, oh, I shuffled your Squee and your Master of Death back into your deck versus I exiled them with Shred Memory. I think it's the right kind of grave hate. And that does double duty. And it's got like, I actually kind of like the off-color flashback here too for...
Well, I was about to say, I like that it could, be run in a green deck that's just doing a lot of discarding.
Yes,
and then
precisely.
Get flashed back.
Yeah, I think I really like that. Like it's kind of a hybrid card because it can be either blue or green or both if you want to do both.
I also, given that this is a cube where you only have 5 cards that you're cutting, most of the time the cards you're going to cut are cards that you're never going to want to play. However,
or lands.
I mean,
if you just have too many lands.
Yeah, or too many lands. I do think that occasionally you will have a sideboard card, and Memory's Journey goes in 2 different colored decks, sideboard, so to speak. I guess what I should say is whether or not the sideboard is the actual 5 cards, or whether your sideboard is mentally what you consider the 6 cards in your deck that you're discarding every time that you have a discard outlet. It works for that. Oh, fight to the death.
Somebody recommended this in the Discord. I don't think I actually really like it.
No, I don't want to run it here, but it's
a cool card.
Look at that card. It's a cool card.
It's a cool card to think about. It might be fun. So I'm feeling like this plus the cards we already have in the cube is starting to approach viability for
Yeah.
our precious little Isochron Scepter.
Well, Dismember doesn't count.
Dismember does not count, which is good, because if it did count, I have to cut it because
It'd be
it would be
nasty.
way too good. I think I probably want. I mean, my rule of thumb is always if I like need another card to make a card function at all, I want 7 of that card in my deck, and we're adding we're adding 9 more targets, and we currently have in the main deck. Where is it to give you the filter stats on the filter page? We currently have 17 in the main deck, so 17 plus 9, 26, and obviously you're going to prioritize them over some other things because you know you want them. Maybe we should add a couple more. Maybe we should get more sort of basic effects in here. Okay. What about like a Azorius Charm? Why is it still here?
Azorius Charm's just good. What do you already have in Azorius right now? You do not have Azorius cards right now.
Ooh.
Put it in.
Wait, what about Fists of Flame?
I guess you have hybrid card. You have Mirror Weave, but
what about Fists of Flame, Jane?
Oh, Fists of Flame should definitely go in.
This card is so sick. I love putting this card in cubes. This is also particularly sick.
Wow, big surprise.
Okay, you know what? Watch it, McKinney. This cube especially, you'll be able to have big turns where you draw a ton of cards, like Fist of Flame on your Ideas Unbound turn or something like that. Could be kind of sick. And
it's an inevitability that there will be something in here that lets you untap an artifact. And
I think we will have something.
Fist of Flaming twice off of Isochron Scepter is pretty freaking cool.
Okay, here's another question for you. I think Flash is another card that could be right in the sweet spot of like we could make it as viable as Isochron Scepter or as Tinker. Like it's a broken card that we could just make fine here based on the cards we include. I have excluded it for now because I think it is confusing to many people that you cannot interact while the creature is in play. Like you don't get a moment to do anything. It will be in the graveyard by the time you get any kind of priority. And in this cube specifically, there are so many things that care about like interacting in that moment. All of the Dreadnought stuff cares about interacting in that moment. And I think that Flash, the fact that you can't, just doesn't fit on vibes for me.
I agree.
Okay.
I also, I agree. I agree with that.
Here's a very funky one for Isochron Scepter. Amass 1 every turn is kind of weird.
It is.
What about between things like Obsessive Search or Perilous Research? Ooh, wait. What do you think of Rites of Refusal? This is a card someone recommended in the Discord.
I love Rites of Refusal. I need to think about it for this cube now. Let's see. 2 cards, Counterspell for 3 mana.
Mana leak.
Goes up from there.
2-card mana leak.
Yeah.
It certainly seems fine to put under Isochron Scepter to me. Like, they can play around you discarding 1 card, and if you're discarding like multiple cards every turn and you're already down 2 cards, like it fits in like the Vengeful Dream space is like, if they're making this good, they have such a good card advantage engine that you deserve to lose. Like, if you put this on Isochron Scepter and you have Life from Alone, good for you. You did it. Like, crush them.
Yeah. This is an example of a card that I, in this cube, really like under Isochron Scepter, but that I think I dislike it enough without Isochron Scepter that I'm taking that back, actually.
Were you gonna say it's too good or too bad? What do you think of it without Isochron Scepter?
I was gonna say that it's too bad and clunky for me to want to run outside of Isochron Scepter, but I'm rethinking that. I think this is exactly in the power range that I want the interesting counterspells to be for the first run of a cube. There's a chance that people will play with it and you'll be like, that doesn't work, but I really like the downside there. Also, as evidenced by the Vengeful Dreams recommendation, that era of card where you just dump cards from your hand in order to do something is just a space I really like, and gives people the experience of playing older Magic where you often had dead cards
Yeah.
that literally did nothing because the
And you
game
will
has
in
been
this
going
cube.
for 20 turns and you have, 6 lands in your hands you have nothing to do with, or because your opponent has a card that has protection from half the stuff in your deck and you just are like, well, I guess I don't need this. So I really like that. Forget Muddle the Mixture. Add this card.
I definitely prefer this over Muddle the Mixture for sure.
Yeah.
I think Dark Ritual is too good on its own. It's cool under Scepter, but I think it's too good generally speaking here, especially because I have so many high Black Devotion cards. Like, I can't put Dark Ritual in alongside Phyrexian Obliterator. I have to cut Obliterator if I was going to do that. That's just too good. I would kind of like... I mean, we had a Fist of Flame as a combat trick. I would kind of like another combat tricky thing.
Yeah. I you know me, I like combat tricks, and I wish there were more of them.
What about a thing like a Shelter?
So, Shelter is one of my favorite old border Magic cards. Protection's weird.
Protection do be weird.
Think you currently have much, if any, protection?
I don't know. I don't know
either. You need more white cards.
I do need more white cards. Well, I don't need more white cards. I would like to have a few more white cards.
Yeah, you're already adding Unwanted Remake.
Like Shelter versus Scout's Warning. Do you prefer Scout's Warning?
Oh, that's a mean question. For this cube, yeah, I do.
Boop. Boop. You got it. You got
Wonderful.
it, Jane. All right, let's start trying to find cuts and see how hard it is for us to cut 13 cards.
Can I recommend one more card that is not currently in the list?
You can, and you can also stop asking if you can recommend things. You can just recommend them. You're allowed to take up space, Jane. Them.
I really want you to put Goryo's Vengeance in this cube.
That is an instant, right?
I think it's the perfect cube for it, regardless of Isochron Scepter. Yeah, it's a 2-mana instant.
Okay, it's good with Sundial.
Mm-hmm.
We have other arcane spells. We have other arcane spells. We have Ideas Unbound. I think the problem right now is just the legend thing. Hold on, how many things do we actually have that are legendary?
Oh, a lot of the fun things you want to get are legends, but it's not enough that it's actually crazy strong.
Okay, so Cedrus, which also already wants to be in the Sundial deck, and Goryo's Vengeance works with Sundial.
Yep, Feldon, Kiki-Jiki.
I like it. I will allow this for now. I actually didn't realize that Sapling of Kulfener was legendary. That's kind of funny. It doesn't have legendary vibes at all. I think there's Crick. Goryo's Vengeance Crick.
So it's a bit of a stinker. But this is literally the cube where you're like, I want people to have some cards in their deck that probably don't do anything.
Yeah.
And given that the cube is leaning, given that the cube is leaning more and more in the direction of most of the cards in your deck are going to be fun cards that you actually want to play, I want to add a few cards like this that, they're definitely on the end of not doing much some of the time.
Are there any of these legends in the sideboard that you would make an argument for adding?
Okay.
And why is it Phage the Untouchable? It has to be Phage the Untouchable.
Oh, yeah. 2-mana kill yourself is just like the best way to play Magic.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You can't get Progenitus with it, so it's obviously horrible. Oh, Chromat's in the sideboard.
Chromat is in the sideboard.
That could be the main board.
Currently.
Okay, let's see. Oh wait, that's a different one. Obeka.
Yeah, Obeka or Obeka is redundancy for Sundial. It is like swagless.
Pronounced.
And it's also tricolor. Like, I really like that Sundial is colorless because it opens up how you can use it. And Obeka or Obeka
so many different things.
Just feels like it's on rails. It's like, you're in Grixis, get all the Grixis stuff that, this works with, and has too high of a floor,
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think any of the multicolor legends, those are the only ones I've checked so far. I don't think any of the multicolor ones I really want to put in. Traxos.
Traxos too good here, I think.
Traxos, yeah.
I put it in the maybe
I
board
think
because I thought
Traxos
of it,
is
and it was like it
too
works with Varol's, and
good.
it's got like a high power and for a low mana
Yeah.
value. But I think it's just too generically good here.
Joel Rail, Joel Rail, however you pronounce it, I really, really
I
love.
adore this card.
Um, I think it's a little lower power compared to what you're currently doing,
I
but it
agree.
also has potential to just win a game. So, uh, that's a question mark. So far, that's the one I've read that I most would want to add.
I think she
Jaxus,
is. I think she's firmly in the category of like you would think, oh, this card's not that good, but I guess I got to play it because I only get 5 cuts, and then you'd be surprised how many games you're like, oh, I guess I just win now because I have Jor-El in play.
yeah, Jaxus, I wish was less wordy. It
I agree.
does fun things, and I really just don't want to make people look at that card and go,
Yeah, I don't want
what
people to
does
have to
this
read
card
it.
do?
I
Yeah.
agree.
Sir Conrad,
Cracked.
I like. He's really strong here. Um, Side note, most of these cards aren't cards I really want to add in. I like the ones that are currently in there. I adore Linvala, but I don't want to turn off all the fun things that the opponents are doing. That just
At
seems
some point, I'm gonna have to like think
yeah.
about what White's identity is, and it might be the fun police in that sense. In which case, I think
If I mean,
Linvala is like the perfect
I
hate bear for this environment, probably.
I love basically everything about the card that is Linvala, other than the fact that if removal stays fairly light, it just kneecaps some decks while also being a 3/4 flyer in a way that
Yeah.
is unfun. Of the cards I've seen here so far, Jolrael and Linvala are. I also really like Magetta the Lion.
He's so cool.
Mm,
But are you
yeah,
Goryo's
white,
vengeancing
white,
any
white
of
is
those
tough.
cards? I don't think you are
Uh,
Goryo's vengeing any of those cards.
no. Yeah, because putting Linvala in, they can activate before that happens. Jor-El, you actually, even then,
And you're paying 2 mana, then you got to pay 3 more mana to activate if you're gonna Goryo's vengeance it on that turn. You're not gonna have any
don't you
lands
want
left
people to
to
be jumping
attack.
through hoops? No, I don't think any of those are. I don't think any of
This
those
might
are
have to be
ones that
maybe
you want them
boarded
to
for
come in.
now. I like
No,
how,
you should maybe board it.
I like
Yeah,
how much you're cooking, but I think right now it would be beyond a trap.
yeah.
And
Too many hoops you have
I'm
to
okay
jump
with a
through.
little bit of a trap, just not a massive trap, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to cards that work with ba, 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 ba. Obsessive Search. We're cool with this, right? There's tons of discard outlets here. I think this has enough
Yep.
upside that like Obsessive Search is just good.
I also like that it's a good card for people who are drafting this for the first time to reinforce when they see it of just, oh, yep, okay, that's a thing that I should be thinking about
Mm-hmm.
because of how simple it is for pointing out the madness effect.
And do we just put in Dramatic Reversal? I think you're gonna say yes,
Again, I really like it. I think that
and
it's
it goes. All right.
fun, situational, still powerful.
All right.
And if it goes in, I don't think we need to put in 2 arms. I do like 2 arms, but we've already added a few white cards.
Well, now we need 15 cuts, Jane. 3 of them can be lands at least, so that's easy.
Yeah.
Let's just start there. I know that you had a sort of culling of lands in the ball pit where you're like, actually, these are just making things complicated and then not adding to any more fun. Any lands jump out at you here is like, that's not actually fun at all. It's just making things complicated. I'll say one that jumps out at me. Nomad Stadium.
Yeah.
I don't think that's very cool at all. Poof. Does any jump out at you?
Let me do a quick look at them. I haven't
Yeah,
looked at
take
the
your time.
lands here very much.
This is a casual video. I'm also going to be looking through. Maybe
Ooh, I
like,
love Urborg here.
oh yeah, Urborg is so sick here.
Which also means Yavima. Yep, it's there.
Maybe like a Dust Bowl.
Dust Bowl is one of the varieties of perfect magic card that shouldn't come out.
Okay, respect.
It's land destruction that is kind of fair.
It's completely fair, I think.
Yeah.
It's only going to be good against the decks that are like, okay, I found that Buried Ruin doesn't really do anything here. It's so bad to pay 3 mana and sack a land to just get an artifact back to your hand.
I mean, in a desert cube, I generally adore Buried Ruin because
It's basically
it's
modal.
a land.
It's also a spell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
okay.
it's a land that when they happen to kill your sundial, you're able to get it back.
Okay. Talk me into it again.
Are you sold on Valakut?
No. Valakut's really bad right now. I'll cut that for now.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to put it in the maybe
I
board.
want to work places, and I don't think this is the cube for it, unless
Certainly
you go
not right now.
Yeah. If you draft this cube and everyone is just so mentally drained from the land base being as complex as it is on top of the cube being complex, and you just cut half of the non-basics and add a bunch more basics, then sure, Valakut could go back in. But right now, I think it should stay out. Let's see. I do like all of the other
You know, I think it's a trap right now.
Odyssey sacrifice lands, so I'm kind of sad that Nomad Stadium is so ass and should come out.
Yeah, I think it's pretty bad. Flagstones, there are so few ways to sacrifice your own flagstones. It's like Lotus Field.
Cut Flagstones. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
I love this card on vibes, but
super fun, but it's not worth it here. It's just
it's not doing the thing here yet. So
just gonna confuse people. Okay,
I agree.
see.
It should come out. That's 3 lands gone. We can always cut more lands, but let's also look at non-lands now. Anything that jumps out at you as like, this sucks and is not making me happy.
Hold on. I need to, for my brain today, switch to a visual spoiler and just start scrawling this list.
Do it.
Okay, let's see. Looking in white.
I will say it's hard to cut white cards because there's so few of them.
Yeah. I'm also going to be leaning away from cutting creatures.
I don't like Bloodghast here. Like, who cares? It doesn't do anything fun or interesting.
I recently cut Bloodghast from Tabletop Cube, which blew my mind because I like land stacks. I like graveyard decks, and I'll say it, Bloodghast kind of boring as hell. Like
It's boring. It's boring.
It has a lot of fun memories for me, but that fun memory for me is just winning with a boring card. Like I think more people need to get rid of that card. Let's see. Gifts Ungiven.
I was just looking at that one too.
What'd you say?
I was just looking at that one too. I think I can go.
Yeah. Again, I adore this card. I don't think it needs to be here.
Like, it is.
It's also just going to cause a lot of 15-minute turns.
Yeah, that is
which,
true.
In a cube like this, yeah.
Okay, Dragon Wings actually.
Dragon Wings. Yeah.
I liked it initially at first, and I still think. Here's why I'm cutting it. One of the cards it is best with.
I was just about to say Dragon Wings. I agree with this.
One of the cards it is best with is Soulflayer, which you hopefully already are giving flying anyway.
Correct.
So it's such a cool card.
Yay, double flying.
Do we like trade routes here? Trade routes
What'd
good
you say?
here? Do we like trade routes here?
I figured trade routes was here not because it's good, but just because you really, really wanted people to try to make it work.
Well, I mean, I'm not asking if it's good, but do we like it? Do you think it would be fun if it did work? Like what is it working even look like? Like, I don't think you're playing it fairly just to like turn your extra lands into other cards if you like flood out. That seems like a terrible use of a whole card. It seems good with Life from the Loam. You can get lands back and then discard them to draw more cards. It becomes like a card advantage engine. But it doesn't have any synergies with anything. It just like is. Oh, you know what? I'm going to cut Finale of Promise,
you
too.
Know, if you're... if you have out Phyrexian Tower and you're low on lands in hand, but you have a lot of creatures, but there's one big spell you want to play, you can get one more mana out of it. No, there's... I'm not seeing much to do with... Okay, I would say you should keep it in... if, well, is that even true? I would say you should put it back in if you ever put Valakut back in.
Sure. Okay.
But until
Pair those two
that,
together.
unlikely, yeah.
Those two are friends.
Like it resets your Llanowar Reborn's graft ability. Like there are some.
It's good with the
things you can do with it.
MDFCs. Like, it's kind of interesting with the MDFCs, I guess.
It is fun with the MDFCs. It's fun as since it's instant speed, you can turn your treetop village into a creature and block, and then return it to your hand, so that you like have a kind of indestructible blocker. Like there are a very few number of things at a quick scan that are the sort of fun trade route things I want to do, but there's so few of them that I don't think it needs to be here.
Talk to me about Living Death and Scrap Mastery. What do you think of these?
Living Death and Scrap Master. Is Scrap Master? Well, let me just read it. I assume it's basically the same.
It's Living Death, but for artifacts.
Why can I not find this? Scrap Mastery.
It's red.
Yeah.
Importantly.
Okay. For whatever reason, it is. I'm just switching back from visual spoiler. Okay, Scrap Mastery. There we go. Why was that not showing up in visual spoiler? Okay.
Were you looking at the maybe board possibly still? It's a big maybe board.
Now I was just looking at the main board. I think I'm just blind, as evidenced by the glasses. Okay. Scrap Mastery. Let me do a quick scan of the artifacts here. Scrap Mastery, I think, is generally pretty darn bad here.
Great, because I also don't think I like it, so get it out.
Yeah. Living Death.
I think it's better, for sure.
I
also cut Nihilistic Glee while you were looking at cards and thinking about it. I think it's too...
Yeah, please.
The art is cool, but I think it's too narrow and...
Yeah.
Not that interesting.
So, Living Death is going to be just a really unpredictably weird card.
There's tons of discard outlets. There's Buried Alive. There's Entomb. Like, you could definitely... Yeah. There's also a lot of cycling, though not that many creatures for cycling right now. But you could definitely, I think, design a deck with the goal of filling the yard and then finding Living Death and casting it without really interacting with your opponent a whole lot, so they don't have a ton in their own graveyard.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
It's gonna be super swingy, and I think this is just a designer question card. I think power wise, it's totally a fair and good card for this. Yeah, sometimes they'll get a chroma, you know.
Yeah, I was just seeing a tag was missing. I was adding there. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that is one of the biggest, most swingy things other than Chromanticore that you can get from a Living Death.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, like Duplicant, Eternal Dragon, Cedrus. These are like the big things you would be putting in.
Yeah.
It's certainly not going to be broken.
No, it's not going to be broken, and that I would not want it here if it were going to be broken.
Yeah.
I'd say leave it in.
Bim Jute recommended this card, Hibernation's End. Have you ever read this one?
Yes, I have.
What do you think of this?
I have used that card before. The main thing I dislike about this card is that in a cube like this, it's often extremely valid to have gaping holes in your mana curve.
Yeah.
And Hibernation's End for me is the exact sort of card I want in a cube in a constructed deck with the vibes of this cube. but that I seeing people play with it generally feel like it just makes people feel frustrated more than it works the way they want it to.
I
You
think
know,
it's
if it were the same card but cheaper,
I think
that
it's
would be okay.
really
But
rough, specifically alongside Birthing Pod, and Birthing Pod is a much better fit here, given that it is colorless.
oh, totally agreed.
But it's like they're similar enough, and I think it feels bad enough, next to it that, yeah, I'm dubious.
Yeah, I also so it.
Wait, why isn't? I thought for sure Dread Return has to be in this cube. I know this has nothing to do with.
Is it not?
It should be. I don't see it there right now. Not maybe board. I know this has nothing to do with Isochron Scepter, but I am going to put it in right now anyway, so I don't forget, because I know I want that in here. I mean,
in earlier test versions of this list, you had enough big guys in here that I would not have wanted Dread Return to be in here. Right now, as evidenced by me saying you should slap Tinker in here, I think it's a very healthy and very fun place for it. Sell me on Call the Bloodline.
Give me one sec. Call the Bloodline. Here's how I'll sell you on it, or I'll try to. I think it's one of the more appealing discard outlets in the cube, because it
is only one generic mana.
It's one generic mana, and it just says turn this card into a 1-mana 1/1 with lifelink. Lifelink is relevant for all the keyword matter stuff. Like, that's pretty good with Odric or other things that care about keyword abilities. It's also a bit of a combo with Deathless Knight. It turns Deathless Knight into a infinitely recurable discard outlet. You just turn that into a 1/1 with lifelink. Whenever that thing does any combat damage, you get Deathless Knight back. You do Deathless Knight things over and over again. Yeah, I don't know.
Still within a color identity. Okay, that's a little better than I thought it was.
I don't think it's. I prefer Zombie Infestation, but mostly I want a lot of discard outlets here, and I feel like this is the next most appealing one that I could come up with, and yeah, I think it can definitely work.
You said you're cutting Nihilistic Glee, right?
I am, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Comparing those two, I certainly prefer Call the Bloodline to Nihilistic Glee, I think.
Yeah. No,
they'll both work with Deathless Knight, of note.
Okay. Yeah. No, now that you have reminded me Deathless Knight is in here, that is more appealing.
What do you think of Throes of Chaos, Jane?
I don't like it.
Great. Boof.
Yeah.
It's gone.
It is. I am going to call out one of my friends, Sam, here, in that it is a card that all of the sorts of Magic designers that I really like really love this card and want it to work in every cube that they have that's at a lower power level, and I just don't like how it ends up playing out.
All right, we only need 4 more cuts. We're doing great.
Only 4 more, doing good.
I'm always really hesitant to cut colorless cards because you know what? Icaridus has to go.
Are you cutting? Yeah, get rid of it.
I love the art on this. I love it. And
it's an objectively sick card, and I just don't think it needs to be here.
Here's the other reason I don't like it is that it almost seems like a thing that works with Sundial, but it triggers at every end step, not just once after it comes into play, which I think is kind of a juke. It's gonna make you think you can. You can whatchamacallit, you can Sundial it, but you really can't.
You can do it, but you can't. Did I hear you say that you're low on Finale of Promise? Because I think it can come out.
Yeah, I already added to the cut list. The problem here is that there's a lot of things that I don't know. I think it's just too generically good and or bad. Like, if you're trying to get back your Radiant Flames or your Painful Truths, you're like, this doesn't do anything. I'm mad.
Agreed. Okay, let me see.
All right, what do you think about Gerard's orders? This was a recommendation of somebody, I forgot to note them apparently, that is kind of like a below-rate tutor that is an entomb plus a tutor creature to your hand, Eladamri's Call or whatever.
I adore this card. I think it will be very strong in this cube.
Oh, really?
And unless this ends up being a cube that goes faster than I think it will, mid to late game tutor for 2 creatures where one of those creatures has a downside unless you meet a requirement that you have already met because of casting this card seems just like really, really good to me.
I like it
You know,
for
you're
being
gonna
able to get like Soul Flare and Chromanticore, put them in the appropriate places.
yeah.
I like it for being able to get like Varrols and Dreadnought and put them in the appropriate places.
Yeah.
Like it's kind
You
of
get
interesting.
Deathless Knight and any creature that ends up gaining you any amount of life.
Yeah.
You know, there's a
Hacking
lot of
is obviously incredible to
yeah,
Entomb, but like Entomb is
yeah,
here, so Entomb is fine. I mean, I'm gonna
yeah.
make
You're
Entomb
feeling
fine.
spicy, you just put Scrapwork Mutt in the graveyard because who
Yeah,
doesn't like Scrapwork Mutt?
buddy.
No, point is, I think it's a very strong card. I want it to be here.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
incentivizes. Also, like it's multicolored without being hybrid.
Dread Return
You
is in
know,
the cube. I put it in the colorless section because I'm a dumbass. I
oh,
mean, it
okay.
can be colorless, but
I
realistically,
mean, yeah, it is a colorless. It will be a colorless card in
sometimes.
half of the decks that end up with it. Well, that's not true because it's going to get prioritized earlier. Okay. Let me see here. So this is unusual for me. I don't actually know if I like Knight of the Reliquary in this cube.
It's really hard to make work in
It's really hard to make work.
kind of a funky way.
In a cube where you're already fighting for the right mana. It's, you know, maybe it gets out something that you're splashing for, but honestly, having to sacrifice a forest or a plane, there's gonna be a lot of times you get this out and you don't have a forest or a plane out. There will be times where you get this out and you do not have either a forest or a plane.
I think there are more than maybe you think there are. So there's currently 34 forest/plains in the main deck, and if you're green-white,
oh wait, because you filter out the hybrid colors, I did not read that properly. No, you will have enough targets for it.
I think you'll get to do it. And I'll be honest, right now I think a theme that is undersupported that I want to support better in future edits is the lands deck. I want the lands deck to be a thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm really hesitant to cut Knight right now. I also think it's just good if you like have a Hermit Druid deck and you just bin your entire deck and then you swing with like a enormous Knight of the Reliquary and a enormous Terravore. Like I could see that being a deck.
No, you've sold me on that. I think it should stay in. Mimeoplasm, one of my favorites. It needs to stay in.
So I'm hesitant to cut colorless cards because I want there to be an overabundance of them here.
Yeah,
but Mindless Automaton is so boring.
Let's see. It's the
4-mana 2/2. Pay 1, discard a card, put a +1/+1 counter on it, or remove 2 +1/+1 counters from it to draw a card.
Well, it's mindless. It's supposed to be that way. No, it is. It's generically mediocre.
So mediocre.
Most.
Like I think it's worse than Power Matrix.
Agreed.
But it's like the thing is, it's a colorless discard outlet, right? Which
it's a discard outlet that also digs. I'm
gonna keep it for now. I'm so hesitant to cut colorless cards, so it shall stay for now.
Okay, let's see.
I don't think some cards that are not currently good that maybe I would want to make good but are not right now are like Gigapede, Death of a Thousand Stings. These are cards that I both got from you, but I don't think they're very good right here right now.
Gigapede you got from me largely because it was a card that I didn't want to run in the ball pit, but I thought would work here. I don't think you need it here.
I like it so much. I want to see what people do with it. I'm just like so curious.
I don't think you need it. I think there's a lot of fun potential for it. And given that this is a creature light cube, I keep saying that it's not like super light on creatures. But
I'm gonna try and up the number 2 as we go on. Like I don't want it to be as creature light as it currently is.
I would much rather you keep in Gigapede than Death of a Thousand Stings. Death of a Thousand Stings I really like in Ball Pit specifically because
it's so cool in Ball Pit.
It is its own engine. Here, I mean, I think it's just generically mediocre. I think most of the time it's not even really going to do much. And
All right.
I think you can safely
bit
cut it,
heartbreaking.
despite it being one of my favorite cards. I don't think it needs to live here.
In that case, we need one more cut, so we're doing good.
One more cut. Okay. Let's see.
Oath of Druids is not currently good, but I want to give it a chance to see what people do with it. So even though it's not currently good, I'm going to just allow that for now.
I don't like Oath of Druids, but it's... Given that this is not a cube where it gets out like a Darksteel Colossus or something.
It definitely doesn't do that.
Or a Blightsteel Colossus. I'm okay with that.
Mindstone is boring, but colorless cards are just, they're so generic. Like, I just got to cut color cards.
Yeah, I was looking at Collector's Vault, and I was like, this is such a good card here, and it's just so generic.
You think it's just too good?
And that's true. That's true. Oh, no. There's so many cards in this colorless section that fit into that.
What about
for me?
I
do think Collector's Vault is really, really good here, but
I agree. What about like
fine.
Traumatic Visions? I mean, I'm not that married to Paradoxical Outcome. I think it's kind of cool, but I'm not married to it.
Traumatic Visions, I adore here.
Yeah, this is the spot for it, if anything.
Stays in. What was the other card or cards?
I mentioned Paradoxical Outcome is like a thing that I'm curious to see what people do with it, but I don't know. I'm certainly not married to it. What about Riddlesmith? I already have Magus of the Bazaar, Merfolk Looter, Dreamscape Artist, Red Tomb Mystic. There's so many ways to discard.
Riddlesmith should come out.
Do I need Riddlesmith? Get that out of here.
No.
All right. Jane, that's officially 16 edits. I'm sure that
these are hard.
I'm sure that,
which is good. It means the list is reaching a cohesive point.
It's slowly getting there.
Yeah.
We added no creatures, and we cut 1, 2, 3. We cut 3, even though I said one of my goals was to add more creatures.
Hey, I have not, for either of these videos, looked up a single creature to recommend. So at some point, I will just
have to
drop 20 creatures on you, and you'll be like, Jane, these are ass. And I'll be like, put them in the maybe board. And then nothing will change, and life will go on.
I'm excited about this. I'm going to go ahead and save these changes right now, and then call this video a day. Call it a wrap. I think Isochron Scepter is in a sweet spot. I think we succeeded in that in this list for sure, at least with these changes. Let's just take a little glance at our handiwork. All right, let's just hide this maybe board. Look at that. We got a solid 32 cards to choose from. Some really cool stuff in here. Like some really sort of generic stuff that will just be okay. Scout's Warning, Obsessive Search, Brainstorm, a removal spell, but they're all pretty conditional or limited in scope. And then possibly some very cool stuff like Final Fortune, Vengeful Dreams, and Tomb. I honestly think that it could be really... There's a certain deck that would love Shadow of the Grave under a Isochron Scepter. Like, discard your whole hand to Zombie Infestation every turn and get them all back and then do it again.
I mean, Shadow of the Grave and Brought Back are the two that I'm most excited to see people just do some wacky-ass stuff with. And
the next thing I feel really compelled to pursue is this this Populate micro theme. And honestly, here's where I think we're headed. I think I'm headed to a place where right now I think maybe a few things are over-supported, possibly Isochron Scepter after this batch of changes. So where I'm headed probably is going to be like just pruning the least cool versions from like all the stuff I already support. Like what are the least cool ways to like do the Dreadnought Eater of Days thing, right? What are the ones that are just like the most swagless? And just like trim back everything a little bit so that all of these are much more like micro themes and you're just, trying to figure out how to like cobble something together.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jane.
All you have to do is add Grove of the Guardian back in.
I think that's one of the ones I would. That
solves every problem.
One of the ones I let's just treat ourselves a little bit to a quick.
Ooh.
just to a quick little peek at the cards that I have identified as being potentially interesting with being able to copy tokens. The one I'm most excited about is Minion Reflector. I think that the vibes of this are perfect. It's exactly what I want.
That's hilarious.
Like, it's just so perfect.
Do you have Mirror Works? Yes. Okay.
Mirror Works, another option. So that's cool. Soul Foundry is one I'm definitely going to find room for. This is like the exact kind of imprint card I like here. And the idea of, an indeterminate number of whatever creature you have and then being able to copy it. Very sick. I'm also pretty into... Where are the other ones?
Wait, is there... I don't see Prototype Portal anywhere here.
Yeah, I didn't have that in here. Well, what was the reason? That one...
I mean, there's a few cards it's really strong with, but it's...
That's the one that copies an artifact?
It's Isochron Scepter, but for artifacts. You stick one under it, and then...
What are the non-creature artifacts that are worth it? Okay, so you could put a spell bomb under it. That would seem sussy, but possible. It's cool to make many Goblin Charbelchers, but then you got to pay the mana to activate all of them.
Just to make sure that you're aware, you can put any artifact under it.
I know, but
okay.
I'm comparing this to Soul Foundry, which you can put just creatures under, and so I'm interested in like what gives this an edge over Soul Foundry versus just being mostly another Soul Foundry. And I'm thinking like, what are the best things to put under it? I mean,
let me see here.
Most of these would just draw a card.
Yeah.
Or
Lotus Bloom is fun under
honestly,
it.
Power Matrix is maybe the most fun thing under it.
Power Matrix is pretty fun under it.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, having been very excited about recommending it, looking at the non-creatures, there aren't a crazy number of them that are exciting. Elsewhere Flask is...
There's definitely a lot of ways to just turn it into a card advantage engine to just draw cards, but yeah, I don't think I'm like super excited about any of the things you could do with it that you can't do with Soul Foundry, and I think Soul Foundry has.
Oh yeah, Scroll of Fate is the thing I've seen so far that.
You're just gonna run out of cards in hand so fast, though.
What'd you say?
You're just gonna run out of cards in hand so fast if you have multiple Scrolls of Fate.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I have derailed us.
If we put Minion Reflector under it, now that would be, you make like 4 Minion Reflectors.
So much mana investment. And then you populate once off of Thundering Growth because you've gotten rid of all of your resources and didn't have time to do anything else with.
Yeah, so I'm excited about Minion Reflector. I'm excited about some people. I think Abyssal Harvester is probably too generically good here, but it's cool.
Yeah,
it does the thing. Cackling Counterpart, also kind of interesting. I think Dance of the Many is maybe the most on vibes card. It's a super weird enchantment that makes a creature token copy that is like bound to it. So if either leaves the battlefield, then the enchantment goes away. Yeah. But if you find a way to like bounce the enchantment, you can like and do something with the creature token. You could like benefit.
Cackling Counterpart also working with Dreadnought is. Wait.
It does.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
That I like. So there's some fun stuff.
I also really like Flame Shadow Conjuring, which is like basically another Kiki Jiki, kind of. Yeah. But it doesn't have any risk of being a combo card. And I could see a world where I end up cutting Kiki Jiki in favor of Flame Shadow Conjuring, so I can include the Fate Stitchers and the Vizier of Tumbling Sands and things like that go off infinitely with it. Because this does the exact same thing with Sundial. You can make a copy of a creature that comes into play, make it a creature token, Sundial, or, make a copy of something for red, and then you have to have the mana to cast the thing, and also pay the red mana for Flame Shadow Conjuring, and also then have mana up for Sundering Growth. But it would be so cool to make a copy of something that way. And then obviously Godfarer's Gift, we talked about a couple times, is definitely coming in. Yeah.
Godfarer's Gift, very fun.
So fun. All right, Jane, thank you for this. This was a pleasure as always.
Very fun.
Always appreciate your sage advice. Everybody, like and subscribe down below. Well, look at me doing the engagement thing at 1 hour and 15 minutes into the video, where you're all still surely paying careful, close attention. Ooh,
you're very tired, so you have no energy to smash that like button, but, lethargically slap your hand onto it.
Jane, to send us out, what do you think of Selesnya Eulogist?
I have never seen this card before. That is very unusual. 3
Really inefficient Grave Hate with potential upside in this very narrow little micro archetype I'm describing.
No, without Take 5 existing in my brain at all, I just am actually really enjoying this card.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't think it goes into the list. With the changes you're talking about, potentially very fun. The only thing that makes me slightly hesitant is that a lot of is how much of the populating that we're talking about being population on turns where you have already spent a decent amount of mana.
Which is the argument for keeping something like Kiki-Jiki over Flame Shadow Conjuring, because then you can get a creature token that turn without having to spend any mana, and then you have all your mana available to activate Eulogist to make another copy of the thing you copied with Kiki-Jiki, and that copy you get to keep, and you sacrifice the Kiki-Jiki one.
But even then, the turn that you get out Kiki-Jiki when you already have that Centaur out, that turn you won't be able to do its ability because you already spent Kiki-Jiki mana. So it's I don't think it would be busted at all, and it might be too bad.
It is a 3-mana 3/3 as a baseline, and it does just have Grave Hate.
But it's a creature. It's a creature, and it has
attacks
very
and blocks.
Mild Grave Hate, and that's a fun option.
With 6 mana, you could do Feldon and Eulogist in the same turn every turn, just over and over again.
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
Use Feldon to get back Eulogist, and then use Eulogist to copy itself.
Yeah. That's an argument for something like Abyssal Harvester too, which lets you get that token with no mana investment. Like Abyssal Harvester, Celestial Eulogist is a pretty sick little combo.
Yeah.
That one, I mean, it does kind of work. That one, only its ability exiles other Nightmare tokens. So you make a copy.
That one will make if you're doing much weird populate stuff, that will cause some memory nightmares where you have out multiple copies. Get like some horrible looking print off of an NFT that you can use to put as the nightmare to show which things are the nightmares that are to go away.
Also, kind of cheat targets I would consider putting in this cube are things like Polyraptor. Like, this is a weirdo thing that if you get to make a token copy of it, then you get to go dummy with it. Or hear me out, Spawn Writhe plus
I like Spawn Writhe a lot better.
Plus the Mimeoplasm. Now Mimeoplasm comes into play with the power and toughness of one creature and trample, and when it deals combat damage to a player, make a token that's a copy of it. And that token comes into play and exiles 2 different things. Pretty spicy.
Spawn Writhe I like a lot better.
Actually, I guess the copy would not be the Mimeoplasm anymore. Actually, I don't know the answer to that question.
To which...
let's say you play Mimeoplasm, you exile Spawn Writhe, and let's just, be Magical Christmas and Phyrexian Dreadnought. You make a 12/12 with Trample that says when it deals combat damage to a player, put a token into play that's a copy of itself. What is that copy when it comes into play? Is it another 12/12 with Trample, or is it another copy of the Mimeoplasm that then you have to exile more things?
So, to my knowledge, and I could be wrong on this because this is actually a weird Magic question, because the Mimeoplasm does not say it becomes a copy of one of those cards and maintains this ability, that therefore, if you copied that, it would be whatever its current stats, etc. are. However, I'm very aware that involves layers, and that Bones could say, no, Jane, it copies the card that is printed.
I truly have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either.
Anyway, I'm going to explore that next, I think.
I would open them up in Scryfall and see what I can get via Googling.
Maybe for our next video, we should just talk through all the cards that I want to slip into this cube somehow, and then figure out which ones you're most excited about, too.
Yeah.
All right. This video is over.
There's a lot of really fun stuff in the maybe board here.
So many things in the maybe board. I'm going to be heartbroken by the amount of space in this cube. It's going to make me wish it was a bigger cube, but I will never do that. It's got to be 3x15.
I mean, what's the is it the Nega cube or something like that? Someone has made a cube that's only cards that are like not in some other thing. I don't know. I
I
don't
know
know that space very well.
at least
But
Jet has done that. Former contributor to Lucky Paper, who is
yeah,
in medical school and residency and does not play much Magic these days, or at least he's
that
not
makes
as
sense.
invested. At least he's not as invested with the cube scene. But I know that he had his like main power motivated, legacy plus cube, and
Yeah.
also a nega cube, which was all the best cards that were not good enough to be in that cube, which was kind of an interesting exercise.
Yeah.
It was interesting because he was playing every single one mana dork. There was no redundancy available for the like nega cube at all to have any even remotely playable mana dorks, and so like he had to abandon that whole strategy basically, which was kind of interesting, and then it forced you to do other
It's
stuff.
the exact sort of thing that I enjoy experimenting with like a digital list that I draft online with friends once, and then go, that was so fun and so awful because the only reason that Take 5 is fun is because we built in, all of these cards that make it function, and then that's just not present.
Bold of you to assume this is going to be fun.
Oh, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I didn't say that it will be smooth. I didn't say that it will leave people not feeling exhausted. But
I think it is going to be kind of exhausting.
Yeah, I brought the ball pit to CubeCon. I cannot say a single thing about that sort of experience.
Cool. Thank you, Jane. Video over.